Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will make this fairy princess clothespin doll. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. We will start with a wooden clothespin. I've already created the face on this clothespin, and you can find the tutorial for the face in my Focus on Faces video. The eyes are made with a wood burning tool, but you can always just draw them with a marker. Next, I have some trim. It's about 1 inch wide. It doesn't have to be exactly 1 inch wide, but something about that will cover the bodice, the chest area. I'm going to overlap in the back, cut it off where they overlap. I'm going to let a little bit of her neck show like this. And then I'm going to glue this around the clothespin. I applied some hot glue, so I'm going to center this in the front. And you can use any kind of lace or trim that you like. There we go. I'll add a little bit more glue to make sure that the layers are together, and then I'll trim off the excess. Here we go. And that's the only thing that we use the trim for. Next, I have a spool of 6 inch wide nylon tulle. This is the thin, inexpensive stuff. And I have cut 1 yard of this. This is going to become her dress. I've set my sewing machine to a basting stitch, and I'm going to baste. Can you see this? That's better. I'm going to baste 2.5 inches down from one long edge. So it'll be basted along like this, 2.5 inches down from one long edge. And then I'm going to pull the basting stitches to gather up the dress. As I sewed this, I held on to the bobbin thread. And then when I finished at this end, I made sure I could tell which piece was the bobbin. So now I'm sort of pushing gently, very gently, just push the gathers together. And then that top thread is a little bit loopy and sloppy. So maybe I'll pull that out like this. And the same thing on the other end. There's the top thread. And then I'm going to fold it so that the short edge is on the top. This is the shorter edge. Now I'll tie these around the waist, and I'm going to tie in the back, and then I'm going to glue it to secure. I'll apply some hot glue right here, just under the trim. And then the center of this gathered skirt goes right there. Good. And then I'll continue with the gluing around to the back, tie off these threads and secure. I'm always holding on to the bobbin thread so that it's easy to sort of push those gathers up onto this thread, but you can't push or pull too drastically because you don't want to break the thread. So I'm almost done. I'm going to just pull this little bit around to the back and tie that off and secure it. I'm tying this in the back. It's already so cute, look. Now the skirt is standing out, and I don't want it to stand out quite that much, so I'm going to fold it down a little bit and add a little bit of glue in between the layers and kind of press the tool down into the glue just a little bit so that the skirt is not so out of control. Just adding a little smudge of glue here on this side. There we go. And then a little bit on this side. That's better. There we go. Next is the arms. For the arms, I'm going to use a 6 inch length of 26 gauge white covered wire, which this is called the floral wire set from Wilton. I'll fold this in half. You don't have to really bend it, but sort of gently give it a gentle fold like that. And then hook that around the front of her neck, the front, and then give it a little twist, nice and tight. And if you feel like that isn't tight, you can always add glue. And then pull this around. These will become her hands. We're not going to finish it yet, but I just wanted to get that on because it's hard to do this later after you have the hair. Now for the hair, a lot of people ask me what kind of yarn that I use. And that's usually whenever I'm using loopy mohair. So I wanted to assure you that you don't have to use loopy mohair for my projects. This is just sort of a, I don't know, a furry mohair. It just has a little halo of fuzz. Let's do 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to overlap those. And then with a separate length, I'm going to tie it off. So I'm going to tie it off in the center with a separate piece of yarn. You can decide if you want to trim those loops or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. For some reason, I just think that a fairy should have long hair. So I make this kind of long. All right, so there's the knot in the center, and I have these 2 ends. And I don't really need this, so I'm going to trim this off. And I'm going to glue the center of the knot right to the top of her head with these 2 lengths in the front, like that. So I'm going to glue that right on the top. There's the center, right on the top, with these 2 lengths in the front. Just like that. Now I'll add some glue to the back of the head and pull these loops down into the glue, like that. And then some glue on the sides. And I'll press these into the sides. And of course, I'm going to trim off these so that it looks like little bangs in the front. There's one side. I'm pressing into the glue. And then the other side. Again, into the glue. Now these loops on the outside that aren't really in contact with the sides of the face, those are going to be glued again. This part, we don't want to leave it like that. So I'm going to sort of twist to the back and put some glue in here. So I put some glue in there, and then I'm going to twist this so that it holds right there. Nice. And the same thing for this side. I'll put some glue in here, and then I'll twist this back and press it into the glue. I think you can see how if I did the hair first, it would be hard to get the arms in. That looks good. Maybe I need to secure that one little strand. He's looking good. Now we're going to add the hanging loop. I have this white and gold, that's my theme for the project, white and gold baker's twine. And this is a little bit long, probably 12 inches is the right length, so I'll just tie the knot a little bit closer like that. And then trim that off. And then I'm going to glue the knot to the top of the head. So that's going to be glued right there. And then I have a crown to glue on top of that. So I'm not too worried about the knot showing. I'll put a little bit of glue on the knot and press the knot to the top of the head like this. And then I'm separating out the 2 sides of the loop like this. I have this little gold filigree bead cap. It's about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to glue this to the top of the head, right on the hanging loop, like a little crown. I like when the crown sort of tilts a little bit, so maybe a little bit to one side or the other, or a little bit forward, but it's not really important. You really want to put a lot of glue there because this is supporting the weight of the entire project. You can see my bangs are a little long. They're right in her eyes. I'll trim that. Okay, there we go. Nice. Okay, now we will make her wand. For the wand, I was looking for a toothpick and I found a party pick, which is even better. It has this little decorative bottom here. And then I have glitter stars from Michaels. They're these Creatology Foam Glitter Stickers. I'm going to choose this medium size and I'll use 2 of these. So I'll press the point of the toothpick right there. And then I'm going to stick a second sticker, line it up and put it right in the back. But before I do that, I'm going to add a spot of hot glue. There we go. So I'm going to place the wand in her hand. So one hand will be empty. And I'm just going to use these pliers to sort of fold back about a little more than 1/4 of an inch. And then the same thing on the other side, like that. You don't need pliers. And then a little bend in each arm. And then I'll decide, you know, maybe I'll put the wand on this side. Open up the wire a little bit and secure it. And then just to make sure that it's not going to come out, I have a little tiny scrap of this white florist tape. Now the tape also comes in sort of an opalescent glitter. Here's a silver glitter. It even comes in gold glitter, which I couldn't find, but a little scrap of this tape for each wrist, just so that the ends of the wire won't poke you. And a tiny bit of hot glue to be sure that the wand doesn't slip and slide in and out of her hand. Okay, and then this little scrap I'm going to use for the other hand. Even though she's not holding anything in this hand, I think I just want to cover up that little bit of exposed wire. And it also will prevent the white wrap from coming off the wire. There we go. So there's her little hand, and there's her wand, and her little wrists are wrapped with the white tape. That looks good. Her wand is secure. We want to be sure that that shows. Here's the hanging loop, and now for her wings. This is a gold tinsel stem. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to fold each side down, overlapping about an inch, about 3/4 of an inch right there. And here. Like that. And then wrapping that end around and wrapping that end around. There. Then open up the wings and shape them however you like. I kind of like when they have a little point at the end. And now I'm going to glue this to her back. Here's the glue, and then I'm going to glue it to her back like that. I'll hold that for a second. Here's how it looks on the back. It could be up or down a little more. I have 3 or 4 different shades of gold, and I like that. I like to layer my neutrals. And she's done. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.